What's up, Internet? It's the Jerry Crew. Yeah, we are the Jerry Crew. We post every week, or at least we try to.
Childhood trauma.
Yeah,
I mean, this isn't necessarily childhood trauma, but
Stories.
we're gonna traumatize you with our childhood.
As you guys know, if you've been subscribed to us, if you're not subscribed to us, please subscribe. We appreciate that a lot. But if you've been subscribing to us for a bit, you know that we talk a lot about weird crap that happened in our childhood that we got really afraid of or traumatized by. So for those of you who don't know, I was a Girl Scout for 8 years. Actually, when we first started this channel, I made a really old video talking about my other funny Girl Scout stories. I'll put the link in the description box below. I went on this Girl Scout trip and we went to this fancy restaurant.
If you know anything about us and fancy restaurants don't mix.
It's I ordered food, as you do.
That's fucking weird. First mistake.
What ended up happening then, one of my friends ordered something off the appetizer menu. And I thought, okay, it's an appetizer.
Right. Because who the fuck orders appetizers for a meal? Fucking rats.
My one friend ordered a plate of cheese. There was a bunch of cheese on this platter, right?
Also, I get appetizers sometimes, but who the fuck, I just want to know who orders a plate of cheese for a meal.
That's what I'm saying. All these different shapes and colors of cheese.
Shapes, sizes, an assortment of cheeses.
It was an assortment of cheeses.
So many cheeses. Not enough time.
I asked her, oh, could I have a piece of your cheese? Because she had so much cheese.
It's a lot of cheese.
Before she could even answer me, my Girl Scout leader taps me on the shoulder and's like, no, she's not giving you any cheese. Stop being a plate picker, Cass. You're being a plate picker again. And I'm like,
yeah. And if you know anything about Cass, she takes that term, plate picker, very seriously.
Yes.
And that is offensive to her and her people.
I had to realize that I had a plate picker problem.
And now every single time that we go out in public, I literally have to, if I turn away from my plate for even a few seconds, I'll look back over and I'll see Cassidy just When I was a child, I was a bit of an asshole. Nothing's changed. That's fine. Me and this neighbor kid, we didn't really get along that well. We were kind of assholes to each other, so we just didn't get along. He was an asshole to me, I was an asshole to him. And still, he lived 2 houses down from me. So when he had a birthday party and didn't invite me, I knew about it. You're not gonna hide the fact that you have 20 cars in your front yard and a bunch of music playing, which it was polka music, by the way.
Polka music?
This kid was turning 9, mind you, and there was a polka band. I'm not even gonna get into it, but he had this polka band in his backyard. Honestly, I didn't even want to go, but I was just insulted by the fact that I wasn't invited, so I was just fuck this. My brother, he had this go-kart. It's kind of like a black Corvette go-kart type deal. It looked fucking cool. And we thought that we were hot shit. And we were just why weren't we invited? My brother hopped into the driver's seat and he was just hop in. And I was just all right. Oh, we're doing this. We're doing this. I hop in. We drive through the neighbor's yard that was in between us.
Yeah.
And then we drive through the trees that are separating, there were a line of trees that were separating the house from the other neighbors. And we just burst through them. And so you just see us fly through the trees. I was 8. We go around, there's this table with hors d'oeuvres and snacks and stuff. Everybody's in the backyard, so they just see us burst through and they're all just I went around and I was just Matthew, go to the table. And then he was just okay. I take this bowl of pretzel sticks. I take it for myself. I zoom off. I'm just all right, book it. My brother just goes. He leaves. I'm carrying the bowl of pretzels. I have it for myself. And then we just go back to where we came from. Why are you bursting through the trees and stealing the pretzel sticks and then leaving? You were not invited. You wonder why I wasn't.
You would have made the party much
I would
more
have. They had a polka band, for fuck's sake. Add a little pizzazz.
I had a really active imagination as a kid, and disclaimer, I believe in the paranormal, like, for realsies, but actually at this point in my life I'm going to be talking about when I was, like, in 4th grade, I didn't have any experiences yet, so I guess be careful what you wish for. When I was, like, in 4th grade, I decided that I was going to make a ghost hunting club. I had, like, an obsession with making clubs for some reason.
Oh, I would have joined it.
There was, like, this rumor going around that my elementary school was haunted.
Oh, it fucking was.
I mean, honestly, it could be. Like,
There are toasts in the bathroom. There are toasts in the gymnasium. There are toasts galore in our elementary school.
didn't they let you play with Ouija boards?
Yes, they did. They had a locker during lunchtime. If you finished your lunch, there was a locker where you could get board games and play, and one of them was a Ouija board. Okay, so
And they got rid of those by the
Yeah,
time that we got
they
there,
did.
so some stuff must have happened. Because they did not have them
Yeah.
when I was there.
oh yeah,
Because
because
I would have remembered that.
I'm a couple of years older than Cass, so they let my grade potentially get possessed.
I was like really fascinated with ghosts, and I'm like, what a badass I would be. I could just be like 4th grade Zach Bagans.
Ah.
I like got a bunch of library books, and I just like went around, and I'm just like, I'm the leader of like the ghost hunting club. I like got my friends in on it. Even though I was a rather unpopular kid, like I was bullied a lot. Somehow I like was able to influence the student body. I don't know how I was able to do that.
I don't know, you're pretty persuasive.
I guess I couldn't persuade them to stop bullying me, but I
You know,
could
you could
persuade them to do other things.
gather ghosts and act like horses.
They were on board with that, but they just couldn't treat me like a human being. The center of activity was the bathroom in the school, right? Some kids, they were just like, we need to leave offerings. And there was this girl, she would go and she brought these earrings, but they weren't pairs of earrings. They were all like individual earrings. She brought like a lot of them. It was really weird. She put them in like the lockers in like the girls' bathroom, and it was just like, this is our gift to you. We would get all freaked out because then when we'd come back in, all the locker doors would be open. But honestly, I think it's just because the locker room door was like on the other side, it was the gym, and there'd be people that would practice basketball, and I think the pounding from the basketballs like made the lockers open.
The pounding from the gym teacher having sex with the math teacher.
Yes, I think that pounding made the lockers open up, but we were like,
Scandalous.
the lore like continued to spread, and I was like in the hallway. We had some really, really rusty, gross water fountains, and something that I said was kind of a coping mechanism to tell myself when I drank the water it was really rusty and gross. I just said, oh, it tastes rusty because it's ghost blood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that makes it all the more appetizing.
At least ghost blood has some pizzazz to it. And there were 2 boys that were by like a gross water fountain, and they're just like, drink this. It's ghost blood. It'll give you special strength. And I'm just like, I made this shit up out of my ass. They were adding on to the lore. Eventually, it got to this point where I literally became like a freaking preacher. I'd be like outside, and I'd have like my ghost books, and I would like be standing there like holding my ghost research books.
No.
And like kids would come up to me and like ask me questions, and I would like teach them all this like shit that I was making up. I was actually a false prophet.
You are a fake fan.
As I've mentioned many times, I was not very popular, so like a clique of popular 5th grade boys came over to the 4th grade side, and everybody was like shitting their pants. They're like, why are they
Yeah,
here?
because that was a big event back in the day. I remember being in 4th grade and seeing the 5th graders and just be like acting like I just saw Beyonce. I remember
something.
being in 5th grade and going in the 4th grade bathroom because that was where I was at, and I basically told all the 4th graders, I was just like, you need to give me respect. I'm a 5th grader. And then they were just like, I was just like, yeah, get out. I gotta piss. But this is our bathroom. I don't give a shit.
The leader of this like 5th grade like popular posse of like guys, like he comes up to me, he challenges me, and he's just like, ghosts aren't real. And I'm just like, yes they are. He's just like, ghosts aren't real. And I'm just like, yes, they are. It kept going back and forth like that. And then he grabbed my ghost textbooks and threw them on the blacktop. And I was like, ghosts are real. I'll prove it. And now I have a
She actually shouted that, just so you know.
And now I have a spirituality and lifestyle channel where I talk about spooky shit a lot. So I guess I lived up to my promises.
I'll prove it. Oh, you've proved it. Oh, you've proved it to me. And my life will never be the same. This is the story of a time that I touched a puma when I wasn't supposed to.
Oh my.
I really wasn't supposed to, and this could have ended really, really badly. But let me tell you something. Back in my elementary school, they had this program called Big Brother, Big Sister, where essentially you take a bunch of kids that had to see the social worker because they either had problems or they were troubled. I acted out. I was kind of just a dick. So I had to go see the social worker like once a week. And they started having a program where they were just like, hey, let's take all these troubled children after school on Wednesdays. Let's get those fuckers on a bus, take them to a college, and just make these college kids hang out with these troubled kids for about 2 hours and get them, see if that gets these children to calm the fuck down. It didn't. I don't want you guys to be too freaked out. Please, I'm okay. Everyone was supposed to have one college kid as their big sib. I had not only one, but I actually had two college kids who were my big sib. And not only did I have two, but I also had an older lady who was about, I think she was a staff member? Mm-hmm. A staff member who was also with me. Everyone was supposed to have one college kid, and I had two, along with a staff lady. And at the time, I was just like, oh, wow, I get extra friends to be with me and play with me and all this stuff. Looking back on it, I'm just like, wow, that sucks. The people that were running this were just they just didn't think it through, right? Okay, so basically picture this. You are in charge of this organization for children who just have a lot of problems and low impulse control. You think to yourself, hey, you know what we should do? We should bring in this dude that has a bunch of exotic animals, including one of which is a puma. Very dangerous animal if provoked. And you know what? That fucked up kid that has 3 older sibs watching, let's let her sit front row where she can easily touch things. Let's have her sit front goddamn smack in front row and see if she doesn't touch this puma. I touched that puma. I touched it. And it got...
Was it soft?
It was, oh my god, yes. It was real soft. It had big paws. It had big paws that were too big for its body, and I touched it.
What did it feel like?
It felt like a puma. That puma
kid.
could have turned right the fuck around and eaten me.
Yep.
And I would have deserved it. It just it kind of jumped a little, and then the guy had to lead it away from the children, and I was just like, well, I touched it. And then all 3 of my big sibs were just like, Kate, you can't do that. Can't change the past. I learned that from Rafiki.
Anyway, if you like what you saw, please click like and subscribe.
Subscribe to see more of whatever the heck this was.
Bye.
Bye.
The last note of a song from Jerry and his fucked up friend.